right now. For all you cool cats, all you arrow twirlers with an eye on the X, we have a special evening for you. Guided by Wilderness Archery's own John Scar and Elliot Peters, it's Archery After Hours, where the bow rests and the night continues.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Archery After Hours. We're coming to you deep from within the bowels of the Wilderness Archery compound. Tonight, we are joined by none other than the Southwest sales rep for Bowtech, Tate Morgan, and we're really excited to get into the new bows and what's going on for this upcoming year. So, Tate, go ahead and tell us a little bit of background on you.
Hey, what's up, guys? So I started shooting when I was a little kid. My mom and dad were heavy into archery and then kind of tagged me along everywhere. So that's how I got my start into archery. Shot for a lot of years, ended up quitting had target panic along the years and kind of just decided sports were more fun when I was in high school. Didn't really shoot a bunch then. And then, I don't know, it was probably 2014, 2015, somewhere around there, decided I wanted to get back into it. Found some bows online. I looked at it, and I think the first bow I bought was what was that? A Hoyt Pro Comp XL, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Looked at it, I was like, that's a cool bow. I want to get back into it. Want to be good at archery again. Don't really think it's that hard. Just needed to actually commit to it and try. Put some time behind it. Then decided I wanted to transition into shooting professionally. And then it kind of just took off from there, man. I mean, when I was a kid, I never had even shot a 300 on a Vegas face at 10 yards when I was shooting in the Cub class. I think the best I ever shot was a 295, 296. I sucked when I was young, dude. It was I had target panic so bad. I couldn't even get my pin on the target before I'd punch it. And it was just hated archery, basically.
Yeah.
Came back literally probably within the first month or two of coming back and really taking it serious. Decided I wanted to shoot again. Shot my first 300 at 20 yards on a Vegas face. And then from there, it probably took me, I don't know, a couple months to shoot a 30X.
Fuck.
It just kind of everything clicked, I'd taken enough time away from it, kind of forgot all my bad habits.
Mm-hmm.
And then had to completely I'd taken enough time off to where I had to completely relearn archery, essentially, you know what I mean? So everything was fresh in my mind. I wasn't hinging on old habits, things like that. And then it just kind of whirlwinded into a crazy spiral and led to today. I'd always wanted to get out of shooting archery in the professional capacity at some point, just because look at it, it's not a great long-term thing, right? There's very few guys who are,
Right.
or even girls who are good enough to do it and make a good living doing it, just because the competition field is so thick now. I mean, I remember when I think the first year I shot a 900 in Vegas was 2016, 2017, something like that. It was 2 or 3 years after I started shooting again. I just jumped headfirst into the pro class. I shot, I think, one Vegas in the amateur division. And then that
Straight
same
to
year
pro.
I shot indoor nationals in championship division. I was like, well, I don't, if I'm going to do it, I want to do it, I want to be beat by the best guys in the world and then learn from that and try to go from there. And then my parents have owned an archery shop since they bought the current shop in town in Billings. They bought that in 2014.
Okay.
So while I was working for them full-time, I was also shooting full-time as well. So had a very flexible job that let me do kind of come and go as I pleased, would allow me to shoot and practice as much as I needed and wanted to as well. And then basically I shot full-time for Hoyt for probably, it's 10 or 12 years, something like that.
Damn.
I think 10
Longer
or
than I
11
thought.
years. And then I got a job in the industry. My first job in the industry was working for Darton. I was the sales rep for Darton for the upper Midwest region. Worked for those guys for 6 or 7 months. And then the position that I currently hold came open, and it was an opportunity for me to come back, to the West Coast area that I'm more used to, more of the hunting demographic and kind of shop mentality that I've been like, I grew up in. The culture of archery
Yeah.
is different depending on where you're at in the nation. So it was exciting to be able to come back to more of like the Western style hunting bow shop market. And then work for a company that I've been very heavily involved with over the years. Like, so my Bowtech has been a huge seller at my parents' shop for years. So I was very comfortable with all the bows. And then the brands too, like Black Gold, Ripcord, Tight Spot, those were all like a huge staple being being Montana based companies.
Yep.
Their headquarters are like 2 hours down the road from where my parents' shop was. So that was a product that I was very, very familiar with. So it's kind of just like everything aligned right to where I got back to like brands that I was very comfortable with. And then also very, very good brands within the industry that I'm happy to sell and promote and be a part of.
Hell yeah. I didn't realize that you've had a freaking, probably one of the, I don't know, like, I like your trajectory, right? You went, you did it, you did the pro thing, you got the Vegas 900, you did a bunch of traveling, you definitely checked the I was a professional archer box, and now you're, kind of, you get that
Everything
part out of
except
your
for
system.
winning as much as I wanted to.
Yeah, no, there's probably that for sure. But I mean, like you said, you got to stay within the industry, within shops and brands that you like, and now you're making a living doing that. That's a good turnaround for being an industry guy. Not everybody gets to ride that wave that long.
Yeah, no, it's been a cool journey. I mean, the places that I've gotten to see just from archery alone, I would have never had the wildest ideas or thoughts to even want to travel to Thailand or China. You know what I mean?
You
Like,
did.
I've been, yeah. That's more John speed.
Yeah. We're trying to save some money. Once we get this podcast going, we're gonna go.
No, I mean, it was cool. I was on the World Cup team for 2 seasons. I mean, I got to go do the whole World Cup thing, shoot on Team USA, be a part of them, be able to represent our country, with the flag
Dude,
and
that's
everything.
awesome.
That was cool. Indoor World Championships teams where it was me, Chris Schaff, and Jesse Broadwater went there.
Freaking
We ended
dream
up
team.
taking gold as a team. So that was super cool to go in there and win I mean, technically you could call myself a world champion.
I'm gonna now.
Even though like, I guess I look at it different from like a competitor standpoint. Being archery is more of like I view archery as like a singular person. Like you don't have anybody to fall back on, right? Like it's your own sport, it's your own thing. You're doing it as an individual rather than a team aspect. To where if I would have won an individual world championship, you know what I mean? Like won it myself, I would like consider myself, like obviously a world champion at that point, but like I don't really, I mean, by a technicality, I still like technically am.
Pretty good technicality. I mean, shit.
But I guess I just don't view myself as that, just because it wasn't the individual medal that I wanted.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, definitely. I think for a lot of us on the West Coast, we know and we've shot alongside you. A lot of people don't know, but my first year shooting in 2021, you cleaned Cougar Mountain.
Yeah, my one claim to fame on the orange dot circuit.
Yeah, screw all that world archery stuff. You cleaned Cougar Mountain.
we're not going to put in the fine print that it is the easiest course, but I mean,
stop it.
I don't know. Fresno's pretty easy too, but Cougar Mountain's got some tough shots for sure. I feel like their short stuff is big, but the longer stuff is more legit. So
I mean, they have a few out there. I think what's the longest one? They're like 80. Do they have an 88 yarder?
88, I think. Yeah, the one
is it the elk or the moose? One of them, but it's not a giant dot. It's still like the same size as like a Redding dot. Like it's a legit dot. It's not like a freebie.
No,
the freebies are all the the 14s, 11, 20 yards, things like that. That's where you get your free shots on. But you just get a little bit lazy in one of those, and you got yourself a 2021 real fast. So and then but I think it's cool. It's something that I remember because it was the day that it changed me personally, my mentality about shooting. I had just started shooting, and I was leaving that day, and you walked out to your truck, and I was like, oh, this guy's wearing a Hoyt jersey. He must be pretty good. Let me ask him how he did. And I rolled
I
down the
remember
window.
this.
World champion.
And he goes, I go, hey, how'd you do today? And he goes, I cleaned it. And I was like, what do you mean? You're like, I
Get a
cleaned it. And I
janitor?
was like,
You work here?
I was like, that doesn't make sense. It doesn't compute to me. You know, like, what?
What?
This is like my fourth tournament. And I was like, does that mean perfect? And you're like, yeah. And I was like, oh, well, you know, great job and everything. But like, I'm sitting there. I had just shot my new personal best of like 888. And I was like, we're not playing the same sport. Like, I'm out here shooting a bow, but we are not playing the same sport. And I need to take this way more seriously if that's what I'm going to be competing with. So,
Yeah.
and that's
Damn, you
what I
changed
want
his
to be
life,
competing.
dude.
Literally, 100%. 100%.
Wow.
Now he's out there
was-
shooting 918s on a regular.
Yeah.
Every once in a while.
Oh, come on. I've seen you guys. I've seen you shoot enough now.
I remember last year you yell at me at full draw. I let down and I look over. You're like, John, look, show me your bow. It's the front stabilizer's broken.
Oh,
That
when
was
you
a
ate
rough
shit
day.
at Fresno?
Dude,
Oh yeah.
you killed it even with
Oh.
Yeah.
yeah, that was
Dude, I didn't even know. Like, so we were walking. I remember because it was like an 18-yard target up a hill. It's like a weasel or something like that. And I just remember the next target. It was like a 55-yard Black Panther with a dot the size of a dinner plate. And I'm like, okay, this is the best possible option for me to come back on the following target after I just yard sailed everything down the side of the hill
on
in the
those wet
rainstorm
rocks,
we were
huh?
in, you know, like, and I don't like, I wish someone would have been videoing me or like somehow like the guy from, who was their video? And it was the guys from Archery World.
Yeah.
He was up there and like he had
RIP.
his camera out, but he was like videoing a few of the different targets. Like if that would have been just like happen chance, like so that he was videoing me, you know, like or our group walking from like one target to the next, like dude, that'd have been like the most viral video you've
Yeah.
ever seen in archery because it was literally like someone ripped a rug out from underneath my feet. Feet went above my head. I don't even remember falling. I just remember laying on the ground, like looking at my bow in pieces, like, oh shit, like this isn't going to be good. Busted my stabilizer off right in front of the end cap. And then the rest of the day, me and Alan were swapping stabilizers back and forth so I could finish the
remember
round.
that.
First target, like we go to step up to the next target. And I'm like, I don't even know where this is going to hit. And it's like, whatever, we'll just set the sight for the distance. And I mean, it
Open
just
the
like
best.
opened up too in the rain. Like it was
Yeah.
probably
That
the
was
hardest
shit.
rain I've ever shot in on that target. Like one individual arrow, like probably the worst rain I've ever been in my life in like a shooting situation, you know?
That sucked. Yeah.
And that first arrow was like down in his foot. And I'm like, oh shit. Like I got no clue what's going on here. Like how much do I add? And everybody's like, I don't know, 5, 8 yards, something like that. And I'm like, let's do 8, call it good. So I added 8 yards, hit the dot. And I was like, well, we're just going to move my needle
There
and
we
call
go.
it 8 yards off the rest of the day.
That's all it was. And then you ran it the rest of the way.
I mean, I ran it the rest of the day. It ended up being like and then we walked up. Our next target was like a 30-yarder. So I set my sight on 30 and shot a foot and a half high.
Nah.
So like it was at certain distances, I needed to add like it was like anything over 40, I needed to add the full 8, and then under 40, like 40 to 30 was like 6,
Oh, that sounds
30 to
miserable.
25 was like 4, and then anything under 25 was like 2 yards or something like that. So it took me a minute to like kind of figure out what was going on there. And then that night we got done. I went and shot brand new marks on the sight-in range, and then finished the next day. And I think
Still with
I
Alan's
missed
bar?
like, huh?
Still with Alan's bar?
No, I ended up borrowing a front bar the next
Oh.
day from a guy that had an extra one there. So I was shooting mix and match the next day, but no, it all worked out. I mean, I think I missed like 4 the next day or something like that.
Shit.
yeah, you shot good on day 2.
I mean, shot good. I mean, for what had happened, like I think I missed like I was down 2, I think, going into until I fell, and I think I missed like 8 more or something like that day, just because it was like a random guess, and I shot a few 8s just because like the first time I shot a close target, I shot a chicken like a turkey in the face or something stupid like that. Like it was definitely a good thing the target was running vertical, not horizontal. Otherwise,
Yeah.
that'd have been a swing and a miss.
yeah, you didn't finish bad. I think you still shot like a 1304 or something like that. Where with having that kind of catastrophic.
I don't even know. It was something in the 13. I don't even know what's that tournament out of.
1320, right?
1320. Okay, yeah. So yeah, I was still like 13 plus. I know that.
Yeah,
but
to have that kind of adversity happen to you and then still be able to shoot well, like I know most people would probably like quit. I've seen people quit for
trust
weather
me,
conditions.
I wanted to.
You
I was
know?
like, this is dumb. Like that first arrow, the next arrow out of the bow, I'm like, well, so we just like walk back and go back to town and get some pizza and beer and call it a day.
Yes.
Absolutely.
So we got back home from that, and it was like, so the following week is Reading, right?
Yeah.
And I'm back home shooting, and I'm just like, man, like this bow is not shooting good. Like nothing is grouping how it was. Like something's off. So I started like looking around and everything. My bottom cam was bent because when I landed, I like must have bounced my bottom cam off the rock before the bar got turned under me and I sat on it. So it actually bent my bottom cam and it broke one of my right limb as well.
Oh,
so like
shit.
where the on the Bowtech where the deadlock blocks mount to the limbs, it had cracked one full like limb, like down the middle of the limb from where the one screw hole is. It cracked it all the way out. Like if we'd only had one hole in the bottom of the limbs, I would have drawn back that next shot and probably pulled the one limb completely out of the bow. Like it was a good thing I had 2 screws.
Oh shit.
Otherwise the bow probably would have completely blown up on me when I shot it. But I mean, I landed so hard. My elbow hurt for like a month after that. Like it was brutal.
Because we were obviously the target in front of you. Going down, I know exactly where you're talking about. It's the marmots, and then you go down to that big panther with the monster dot. And walking down, it was, oh crap, I forgot who was in my group. But the person in front of me literally slipped their foot, and I turn around to everyone, and I'm like, hey, this spot's sketchy. Take it slow. And then you come around the corner and
I'm just like walking down the hill.
Oh man. And then that next shot, it's like there's like 2 decent spots to stand on those rocks.
Yeah.
So, and it did open up. We sat and ate hot dogs for like 15 minutes there.
Dude, it was just as bad as like when they held the shoot in Fresno a couple years for Break the Barriers. When we didn't start we didn't start till like noon the second day. Like the rain was just coming down.
That day I wanted to quit.
Yeah, it was miserable.
Yeah. That day was terrible. Obviously it rained like crazy the first day, and Elliot was the only person I saw go out there and take practice shots. And
he's committed.
He's like,
I was actually praying for lightning because they're like, if we see lightning, we're going to call it.
Yeah, and we were in first, so we were like,
land us home right now.
We're done. We can stop right now.
Go home.
Just get it over with.
It's all good.
Yeah.
Yep.
And we, Elliot's like, let's go practice. I was like, I'm not going out there. Are you kidding me?
That.
He's like, come hold the umbrella for me. I hold the umbrella for him. We get to our first target. The horn goes off. I reach into my pouch and I'm like,
oh yeah, you don't have your release.
I had taken my release out and put it in my defroster in the truck to dry it out after the day before.
So you had to run all the way back to your truck.
Well, I used Elliot's hinge for the first 2 targets. And then I used another guy's button because I was shooting a button at the time. He had a prefix and I was shooting the clicker. And he had the long neck. And it was the 35-yard, not a crazy hard, just steep uphill on that backside.
Yeah.
After like the 73-yard shots. And his long neck, I felt so long back there that I fell off the back wall and I shot a 0.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about
that.
And
me and Elliot were tied for first. Or Elliot was up 1 on me or something like that. And I was like, okay, I told him in the morning, I was like, look, I'm not going to give this to you. We're partners, but I'm going to come out here and kick your ass. So you better turn it on today. And then, so after that, I was like, okay, so it's now I will clean up and you shoot your best. Because I'm clearly out. But yeah, no, that was a nasty tournament. I have to, and I always will. I always have to throw it up to Gus Ulrich for that one because I was out there in jeans and a
you
t-shirt.
look like a homeless guy.
I think, yeah. I literally went to that tournament. I was like, I am going to will good weather by not bringing
Idiot.
anything for weather. And-
That fucking shit doesn't work.
No.
oh man! And if it wasn't for
I've just come
too,
to the assumption, like, anytime we have like a summer shoot in California now, it's just gonna rain. Like,
yeah,
That's
we have
been
had absolutely horrible weather
Mhm.
for every single shoot that matters.
Yep.
Like, in the last 4 years. Like, I think
It's
last
more
year was
often
really the
than not.
only year we even had like a decent year at Reading.
Yeah.
except for it was crazy windy day 3. Day
Yeah.
2 was bad, depending on where you were on the course, and day 3 was it didn't matter where you were on the course. It was a terrible day.
Except for the
Mhm.
lower 14. That one's pretty
Lower
bad.
14 wasn't terrible, except for
Yeah.
like those long shots. Like I know the Caribou's not long, but it's pretty open there.
Yeah, it can
and
get you there. The Buffalo could get you too. I mean, everything
Yeah.
else is pretty sheltered, but I mean, when the wind gets ripping on that course now after they had that fire, like, there is no safe space on that range now.
no
from the
safe
wind.
space.
You're screwed.
Yeah, it's that has to be my favorite, regardless of the wind or anything. I'm still
yeah.
happy all 3 days being out there. It's
No, I
such
know.
a
Reading, like,
it's such
that's
a
like
cool
one
event.
tournament that I've said, like, if I ever decided to like completely quit, never shoot tournaments again, like, that's probably still one tournament that I would always shoot.
Yeah, that one's like non-negotiable.
Like, that one is, I love the format of Safari. I wish we would shoot. I wish there was like a full national circuit on it. You know, I mean, it's
For
it's
sure.
such a fun shoot, such a fun environment, especially like the outlaw style stuff when you get your partners and you have your mulligans, and it's more of like a, yeah, there's that mulligan aspect, but it's like you have to know when to use them and when to burn them. There's strategy
Yeah.
behind it. So like, it's not just oh yeah, we missed, like, we're gonna take one mulligan here to get myself back to even. Like, you shoot a 20. What is it? If me and you were partners and you had mulligans and if I miss one and you miss 2, we have to use 2 to get you back up to even.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like, you're kind of
Yeah,
relying
it's
on.
not a gimme.
No, it's not a give me. So
No, it makes it pretty fair actually.
yeah,
And if
Yeah.
people hear mulligans and they're probably like, that sounds fucking rigged, but
yeah. No, it's a ton of fun. I love that format. I wish, like I said, I wish there was way more like that.
yeah.
It would be really cool to have a national circuit like the ASA, but Safari SA or whatever, you know.
Safari SA, real original.
I don't know.
Sick. Freaking
Sick,
name.
bro. That's a great idea, John. You should try to market that one.
Yeah, babe. I'm going
Wow.
on safari.
Oh man. Well,
So-
I know we have Paige coming down this weekend for the Todd shoot. Todd
Yeah, are you
Hawkins.
shooting that?
Are you
No,
coming?
I'm going to be in Vegas for NABA trade show.
Okay.
So I'm going to be
Summer.
working this weekend.
Speaking of being on safari, you've been running around, dude, doing the whole territory guy thing.
Oh
How's
yeah,
that been?
it's fun. I mean, I like it. There's some times when you're like in the middle of your trips where you're just like, man, I just want to be done with this. I want to get home.
Yeah, you're like, I'm so sick of this part of Nevada. And that
Yeah,
part of
exactly.
Nevada.
And that same piece of sagebrush that I've seen
Yeah.
for the last 700 miles.
Whatever the hell that weird ass building is on the side of the freeway we've talked about.
The one I send you a picture of every single
Yeah,
time.
that creepy ass thing. No, so you've been out there slinging them new bows. What's new, man? How's that 33
so
looking?
this-
I like it.
Yeah, dude, I got it actually sitting right here. This new bow
Ooh.
this year, the 33.
Oh,
So this is our new color too, red dirt.
yeah.
So it's kind of a mix of like the reds, like a brown, tan, kind of more earthy tone. Dude, I love this bow. It is very, like, the draw cycle on it is super, super smooth. It's definitely a different draw cycle than Bowtech's had in the past. Typically our bows in the past have kind of loaded up more towards like the middle to the end of the draw cycle.
Yeah.
And then has more of like a felt dump off on the back end, you know. Where this bow, they did a phenomenal job redesigning the cam, the mod, the loadout point, everything on it, to where when you go to draw this bow, it's more of you feel it more in the front end of the draw cycle, where you're strong, where you have more strength built up front in the
Sure.
start of your draw cycle. And then once you get those cams moving, like, it is butter smooth. Like,
Hell yeah.
it's probably one of the smoothest draw cycles I've felt in a very long time in a hunting bow. In a
Heck
bow
yeah.
that you're still going to be able to get like pretty decent speeds out of too.
I was gonna say
right?
you guys been getting some good speed. It
Um,
looked like.
yes, like we just did a test with them the other day, and I shot a 350, a 400, and a 450 grain arrow. I don't quite remember all the specs on it. I know Paige posted the video to her
Yeah.
Instagram page, but in the performance settings, which that's what all the bows are tested in, for their ATA, IBO spec speed, whatever you want to call it nowadays. And we were getting on my 33. I've shot it over Pro Chrono. I've shot it over a Lab Radar. I've shot it through I've shot through my Lab Radar, and we've shot it over a few different Garmin's at various shops that I've shot it at.
Uh-huh.
And I was getting 344 for speeds on the 33. So it was actually for me and the bow, and every chronograph is different. So I mean, you're gonna have
You
the
say
internet haters out there.
344
Yeah.
with what
So I
arrow?
mean, that was with a 350 grain arrow on performance, 30 inches, 70 pounds.
Gotcha. Okay.
And then so it was a little over what the advertised spec was. Advertised spec is 334.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, every chronograph is going to be different too. So
Sure.
I mean, you're going to get your guys on the internet. They're like, "Oh, that's not what I saw versus this and this and this." It's like, well, I
Yeah.
showed you the arrow weight, the poundage, and the live chronograph speed through. So there's no smoke and mirrors. Like that's just real world spec. Like if you were to test out a bow at the archery shop I was at, that's the bow speeds that the chronograph was going to produce.
Gotcha.
The
Wow.
30-inch bow was coming in right at spec. We shot it through and it was hitting 338 like every time.
Mhm.
So that was cool to see actual spec being met.
Yeah.
Because it's like every bow company is very, I would say, notorious for this, is like kind of like the false advertising, whether it's the mass weight of the bow or like your speeds or things like that. Like there's always a little bit of fudging going on. There's a little bit of marketing going on.
Sure.
You know what I mean? But like I was really, really impressed and really happy to see like our bows this year actually hit or exceeded advertised speed, which is very rare if you
Right.
look at like the history of bows and bow manufacturers and how they've advertised their speeds. A lot of times it's like, okay, that's not really an achieve, and which shooting a 350 grain arrow at 70 pounds, like that's not an achievable real world
it's not.
speed. Nobody is going to be shooting that spec
Yeah.
for the most part. I mean, obviously you're going to have your guys out there that are crazy speed freak dudes that are going to set their stuff up for the most amount of speed possible.
Mhm.
That may achieve those speeds, but real world hunting situations, like you're never going to really
Yeah.
get that.
You never.
So
That's the thing. You never do know because you never see those numbers ever again except on the tag.
yeah,
So you don't know
100%.
if
Like,
it's over, under, or whatever. You just it is what it is, and I'll throw my
yeah,
hunting
and you
arrow
got
in
your
it.
own, you got your bow speed, and then
Yeah.
whatever your arrow draw length. If you're shooting comfort, performance, whatever.
What's the
that was
difference
another-
there, speed wise?
So that was another thing that I noticed with our bows this year. This new cam and mod system we have on this bow, we still have the same flip disc that we've had for years. So you're essentially getting two bows in one. You're getting a more of like a speed bow and more of a comfort drawing bow, depending on where you want to have that mod set.
Yeah.
I was seeing anywhere from 13 to 14 foot a second speed jump
Damn.
from comfort to performance, which our bows in the years past have been seeing right around like a 8-ish foot a second, maybe 10 foot a second, depending on where you're at in the cam. So like we're getting a lot more speed optimized into the performance setting this year than we've seen in the past, which I think is cool. And then also the performance setting on this bow is not unachievable to set up and shoot it in. Like in bows in the past, like my Carbon 1X I hunted with a couple years ago, and then my Virtue I hunted with last year, I put it in performance just to see, and I was gaining like 7-8 foot a second, and I was like, there's no way I'm shooting this in performance. Like it just,
Right.
I didn't get the speed gain for the amount of extra effort it
Harshness.
took to draw the bow, the harshness of the draw cycle. It wasn't smooth enough to warrant that speed gain. Now, if I'd have been getting 15 to 18 foot a second speed gain, like, okay, yeah, like that's a tangible number that I'm going to be like, okay, I'm gaining a substantial amount for to offset the draw cycle and
Yeah.
the harshness of the dump off and everything like that. Where this bow in performance draws incredibly smooth too. Like I would bet you there is going to be quite a few people that actually shoot this bow in performance this year, because the draw cycle change isn't, I mean, obviously it's different than comfort by
Yeah.
far. Like you do
Sure.
have an increased draw cycle. It is a little bit rougher. It's not quite as smooth. It does have more of a build at the back end, has that dump off. But I mean, if you want speed, like you don't get speed for free.
No.
Like your 32-inch draw length, and then speed's not unless you're John, you don't have to worry about speed. Like us normal guys have to shoot 29-inch draw lengths, and
Yep.
we have to try to build our speed in
You
somehow.
have to work for it.
Exactly.
Did you
No,
shoot this
but-
yet, John?
The bow? Whoa.
Yeah.
Yes, I have.
What do you think?
What was your initial take on the bow?
It was set up too short for me. So the way that it drew and everything, it seemed
The
fast.
Allen wrenches weren't handy to like move that rotating mod or move the peg or anything for you.
The Godfather did not help me on this one.
Shooting the 33 or the 30 and a half? 30 and
33.
a half, right?
33.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, the 33. It wasn't. Why didn't I move the mod? Oh, just time. I had to go out to lessons. We got it. Obviously.
You're still getting lessons, huh?
Yeah. Still need them. Yeah, I just didn't have time. The bow showed up, before the release date, and Mike was working on getting it all set up, and I had like 5-10 minutes. So I shot it at the whatever it came stock. I think it was 29 and a half. Yeah, 29 and a half. So the draw cycle felt fast to me, obviously, being 2.5 inches short.
You're stopping really short too. Yeah.
That's it. But I mean, the first time that I drew it, having shot a lot of Bowtechs, not like Elliot or anything like that, but typically I leave one of the Hoyts, one of the Matthews, and one of the Bowtechs set up in the shop for my draw length, so that if I want to tinker on my release or whatever, I can, and I don't have my bow or whatever, I can, without having to get my bow, I can shoot a bow.
Yeah.
I have them usually set up to 31 and a half in the shop. So I've shot the Bowtech Reckoning a lot, and I've shot the Proven 34 a lot, and the Proven 34 and the SS 34 are two bows that, as not a Bowtech shooter or anything, I super like both of them. But I remember drawing back expecting kind of the similar draw cycle, and I kind of went whoop boom, like super fast. It's definitely a lot smoother than, and I'm pretty sure the cam was on comfort. I could be wrong.
All the bows come like out of the factory, out of the box. They'll come set 29 inches in comfort.
Yeah.
And
but it was kind of it was super smooth.
Stock spec.
It's for it really dead in the hand too, in my experience. So that's something that I like. I don't like to feel the bow want to like jump and make crazy movements when it hits that string stop and what have you. It felt very much like a plunk, like poop, just good shots. I mean, obviously not shooting it in my draw length makes it somewhat inconclusive, but it being short and everything, it still felt really good.
I'm gonna come down early and shoot that on Sunday.
I do have a question about it. There's a couple of screw holes on the bottom limb pocket area. Are those for some ghost stick style things that we might see, or maybe? I don't know.
Maybe. Yeah, maybe there might be some stuff in the works there.
I had a feeling there might be something why there's some threaded holes on the bottom of the limb pocket there.
Yep. They may be just for, how like fasten the pocket down when we're machining.
Yeah.
You never know.
The pocket, it might be something you show people. The pocket is way different from any other bow that I've seen.
We changed a lot on the pocket this year. Before we had a lot bigger, beefier looking pocket. We streamlined the pocket down a lot this year. All machined aluminum, took a lot of weight out of the pocket, made that pocket a lot more streamlined, a little bit more durable. Everything about, like, I like the new look. Everything looks really clean up front.
Yeah.
on the wall when it's hanging there. Like it's a really, really super solid pocket. And then too, I like the fact that it's all machined aluminum. So you're gonna have super, super tight tolerances, great durability, everything like that. A few other things that we did to this bow is we filled in we put these little side plates on the riser here. There still is holes under there. So if guys, I know in the past some people have said they don't necessarily like the holes in the grip when they go to shoot the bow, like when they're test firing the bows and things like that at shops. Like, man, I just like my fingers go in the grips. It's kind of one of those weird things that you should never feel the grip when you're shooting the bow if you're holding the bow properly.
Yeah.
But it's been one of those things. And then too, it cleaned the bow look up a little bit because we have the name of the bow on there with this one's the 33, so it says Alliance 33 on it. So if a guy did want like more of like that skeletonized look, he could just take the 2 screws out, pop those side plates off, and then you have more of a skeletonized look. We also added a lower stabilizer bushing as well. So now you have the 2 front stabilizer mounts. You got your high and then your low. So guys that want to play around with that, have that option. So, everything that we've done on this bow is great. I mean, I'm super, super pumped about the bow. We lightened the bows up a ton compared to where we have been in the past.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, we got a 33-inch bow that's coming in at 4.25 pounds,
That's wild.
which is awesome. And then our 30.5-inch bow comes in just over 4 pounds, like 4.09 pounds. So like right at just under 4.1 pounds for a 30.5-inch bow too. So we're in that competitive set of like the weight of the bow now too, which that seems to be something that's been more talked about, and guys are looking for it now more. Since the last couple of years, bows have tended to trend more towards that lighter weight.
Yeah.
And then obviously like we have the Virtue as well, which is incredibly light. You know, it's a all magnesium alloy bow, with all the hardware on it's upgraded to titanium from steel as well. So you lose a lot of weight there, as well as gain more of like a premium fastener material. And that bow's 32 inches axle to axle and comes in at 3.7 pounds.
That thing last year, messing around with the one you had set up for hunting, like I never gave a shit about the weight because I'm like, I'm just going to add so much stuff anyway, and weigh it down and make it stable or whatever. But that one that you had with bars and freaking, I don't know how much weight you had on it, but like it still was light, but it had everything on it and it held awesome.
Yeah, like typically, like for me in the past, like when I shot for Hoyt, I always ran I ran the carbon bows, and I mean Hoyt's carbons are never like they're not light by any means, but they are lighter and they have like a different feel to the bow. They have a different balance point because of where the weight's out on the riser, how the carbon distributes the riser weight a little bit more. Same thing like on our Carbon 1X, like it wasn't a super lightweight bow by any means, but it had a different balance point to it. Like you pick a bow up if they were the same, like our Core SR and the Carbon 1X, they were both roughly the same weight, but you picked them up in your hand and they had 2 different feels in your hand, just from like the airiness of carbon and kind of where the weight distribution is at versus it being kind of spread out evenly, like on a machined aluminum riser. I've always had to run way more weight on a carbon than I would on an aluminum to get the bow to aim how I wanted to. Where with the Virtue this year, I tried doing my normal stabilizer setup build, everything, for hunting. And I tried running a 15-inch front bar, normally ran 10 ounces of weight on a 15-inch front bar with a chunk of tungsten on there, so I didn't have a bunch of weights to rattle loose everything. It was just more of like one solid block of weight. And then my back bar, I would run somewhere between 6 and 8 ounces on the back bar. That Virtue, I tried doing that to it, and the bow didn't aim that good. Like I didn't need that much weight on the bow. It felt like the bow was kind of hard to control. It kind of just went where it wanted to go. So I just started peeling weight off the bow. And I think I ended up running a 10-inch front stabilizer with 3 ounces of weight and a 6-inch sidebar with 5 ounces, just kicked pretty much almost out at a 90. So I didn't have a ton of leverage on the bow, but I didn't really have any back weight. It was more of like an offset leverage to offset like the weight of my quiver and my sight and rest and everything on that side of the riser. And I think my total bow build with sight, rest, stabilizers, quivers, disconnects, everything I had on the bow was like still sub 6.5 pounds with 4 arrows in the quiver. Like it was stupid light.
Yeah.
And that bow freaking pounded, man. Like I shot some stupid groups with that thing. Out at 80, 90, 100 yards. Like I was shooting groups with my hunting bow last year at 100 yards that were better than the average group I shoot with my target bow. Like it was insane.
That's
That
good
bow
when you can
just
make that shit
absolutely
happen.
pounded.
Dude,
So
you gave me a thought just a second ago. Where is that site you've been talking about? Can you talk about that yet? It's not out yet, is it?
it is not fully released yet.
Oh, I thought I'd missed it. I thought it might have come out of
No,
ATA.
no, we have that site's we got a little bit longer until the site's going to come
Okay.
out to market. But I mean, that site is pretty slick, man. I got to play with it a little bit in like the prototype phases, doing some testing on it, and everything that I've ever wanted in a hunting site is in that site.
Well, that's
So
good.
I'm very, very impressed with that site. It's super, super sweet.
Okay.
Everything functionality wise is there. I mean, from these are like the stance of like ease of use. The biggest thing that frustrates me the most when I'm setting up equipment is having to do something 4 times or 5 times to get the outcome I want out of it.
Mhm.
Especially like when you're going to level sites. Like,
Yeah.
I can't tell you how many times I wanted to pound my forehead off of the desk when I'm trying to level my site. And it's like, especially like your second and third axis,
Yeah.
it's so close, but you're like, it's not perfect. I want to make it perfect.
Yeah.
And you make like the tiniest adjustment that you didn't even really feel like you felt move, and it's the same distance off but the opposite direction, and it's like,
Yeah.
oh my gosh. So this site has been completely redesigned from the ground up, something Black Gold's never had before, from a sense of just the first, the second, the third axis, how it functions, the look of the site, some of the features on the site. uh, and this is probably the first site I've ever put in I use a bright sight leveling jig to do like my first, second, third, just to kind of rough everything in. And then I'll go actually shoot my second in or my third in using like a Hamsky on a plumb bob level, or I'll actually physically go out and shoot a really steep uphill or a really steep downhill and then shoot my third axis in for the natural torque I put on the bow myself.
Yeah.
And then the first axis, I always fudge it a little bit based on how the bow naturally wants to sit in my hand. But this is the first time I've ever put a sight together on a jig and leveled first, second, third in the first try and had it all be perfect.
I'll be
So
damned. When's this
super,
coming
super
out?
cool stuff. I don't quote me on this, but probably like mid-spring
Okay. So before hunting season anyway.
when it'll be going live. Like it'll be early enough before hunting season. Guys will still have plenty of time to go down to their shop and pick one up,
Okay.
and get one all set up for them and everything like that. So
Hell yeah.
Awesome. I'll let Matt know to put in a big old order.
perfect.
Yeah, get some more. Get some of those coming too.
Yeah, it's a sweet one, man. I'm super excited for it. Like I said, I'm really excited for all the changes. From the bows we did this year, everything is done up really well on them. And then the site too, so that's going to be
I've never shot a black gold, but I think I
really
will.
really good addition to the line, and then like a really good redo of like a product that's definitely been asked for a lot of years.
Yeah. Those things have been tried and true for a while.
I mean, yeah, you can't beat the brightness of them. Like the pins, I've
Yeah.
shot a couple different sight brands over the years, and still, like, there's nothing that even comes close to the black gold pin brightness.
Yeah,
Like
they
I feel
got
like
that
I could,
dialed.
yeah, like I can shoot a 10 thou black gold pin, and it's just as bright as like what my landslide was when I was shooting true ball
Nice.
sights back in the day when I was shooting a 19,000s pin. So
Yeah.
I got the benefit of that super small fiber for the precision and aiming, but I didn't lack any of that light transmission. So I could still be, typically when you're hunting, stuff happens. It's that last fading minute of daylight or that first couple minutes of daylight too. So
Yeah.
you're in like more of that gray light scenario.
Yep.
So obviously we have our Wilderness Archery has our customer appreciation coming up on March, I believe it's 14th. I'd imagine you're going to be there again.
Yep, I'll be down there for that too.
Awesome.
So we'll have a full run of bows for people to test out and play with. So it'll be good.
Do you think that site will be there for people to check out, or maybe something they can look at and
maybe I don't know. Like I said, I don't know the exact. exact set in stone date we're going to be launching, but if it's available to show, then 100% it will be. I will have one there with me.
Awesome. Well, definitely looking forward to seeing you again there. We'll try and do the sheriff eat off again. That'll be fun. And not
at Caliban's?
Yeah.
Yeah, John. Last year, John was talking a big talk, and I don't even think he even touched his baked potato.
Well, in order to finish the sheriff, I had to not eat the baked potato.
Dude,
Doesn't count.
Nothing is as good as
leave-
watching Tate cry over horseradish, though. Nothing is as good
that
as
stuff
that.
was freaking hot, man. Like, I'm pretty sure they cut that shit fresh. Like, that stuff was brutal.
That's why I get both. I get the horseradish cream and the horseradish.
Well,
The
normally I do the
cream's-
same and mix them together. It was like that
Yeah.
first bite, I took that first bite and it was like, yeah, it was good, but it wasn't like kill yourself hot. And that second one, I got a little overzealous on the amount of horseradish we put on that.
Oh man, I'll never forget that. That I almost started crying from laughing. Oh man. Well, you guys just got back from Montana visiting your parents and doing your guys what's the shoot called that you guys hold?
The Montana Open.
Okay, the Montana Open. And
Yep.
this is at Superior Archery?
Yeah, and my parents shop there in Billings.
Awesome. I've been trying to get my brother to go over there, but he says it's too far.
Where's he out of?
Ovando.
Oh, that's a ways.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he'll go to Shields and let them screw up his bow. And then he's calling me asking, 3-4 states away to fix his bow. So I'll pay you a plane ticket, just come up here. I'm like, I still need a shop to fix it. Like,
yeah, just jump in the car. It's only like 4 hours.
yeah, I was like, just make the trip over there, and I know you'll get good service.
Just one and done.
Yeah, one and done, and then stop touching it. That's the other thing I have to tell.
Quit tinkering with it.
Touching it. Me and Taylor Spoolstra went up to Idaho for the top pin last year, and
That's
so
a cool event.
It was a cool event, yeah. And I mean that in past tense. But I got to spend time with my family, and my brother had the brand new bow and everything, and it was so out of whack. He had my brother's a little bit taller than me, and he's got a longer face than I do, and he had just over a 3-inch.
Yeah, horse.
He's a big guy. He's he's like 6'5".
Long face scar.
Maybe 150.
He wears the
pounds.
mask.
Yeah.
He's got the rubber horse mask on.
Oh man, but he static peep height was like 3¼ inches, and I was like, "This is wrong." And they're like, "Well, that's where they told me to set it up." So me and Taylor Spoolster spent like 3 hours shooting with him, getting his bow set up. And then, I kid you not, the next week he's calling me. Yeah, I went into the shop and they said I did this and that wrong. And I'm like, you got to stop doing this. Stop.
Just stop it, please.
Just stop it.
It was already
Just-
good enough where you had it. Just leave it alone.
Yeah,
Quit
stop
touching
touching. So tell us a little bit about the event you guys just hosted. I know you and Paige went up there. How did it go? What's
was
kind of
great.
the format and stuff like that?
So it was the biggest turnout we've ever had. We can do, I think on my parents' range, they can accommodate 46 people per line.
Damn.
So it's a big range. They got
Whoa.
12 full bales at 20 yards and then 2 bales
Damn.
at 10 yards that they can shoot. So I mean, it was a freaking full house, man. I think there was 136 people that signed up for that shoot. So it was a
Wow.
great turnout. They give really cool belt buckles every year.
Yeah, they do.
So like that's always something that everybody likes to get. Everybody likes
Hell
to shoot
yeah.
for the buckles. Like buckles are cool. And then so they ran 3 lines, and then we shoot a 450 round the first day, and then that night we'll run like a blind draw pairing pro-am style shoot thing where we shoot half of Vegas face. So we'll shoot a 150 round for that. So then guys can win a little bit of side cash at the night shoot. And then the second day we'll shoot a 300 round. So we'll shoot a 750 round for the weekend. So it's a cool event. I personally like shooting that 450 on the first day, just because like it makes, whenever you go to like a bigger shoot, like you go to Vegas or you go to Lancaster and you're shooting the 600, like if you're used to shooting the more like the local shoots that shoot like a 450 round, when you go to Lancaster, it doesn't seem like such a big event. Like it doesn't seem like the round takes so long. You're not getting tired as much. So you're more used to shooting more of those arrows. And then too, like on the flip side, when you go to Vegas and you shoot a 300, it's like, if you're usually shooting 450s in like local tournaments, it's like, man, we're already done. Where'd the time go? You know what I mean? Like it kind of, it makes the 300 rounds a lot easier.
Yeah. Sure.
But it was good. I shot really good the first day. I shot a 450. Didn't shoot a great X count. I mean, just because I don't really shoot my bow as much as I used to anymore. So with the job now, I don't spend as much time shooting. I enjoy shooting a bow still. I don't have that drive to like want to pursue it fully anymore. You know what I mean? Where it's like, if I go shoot at home and I shoot a 300 on the first game with mid 20 X's, I'm like, yeah, that's good enough. Like
Perfect.
The amount of effort that I'm putting into it, like totally fine. It doesn't need to be 29, 30 X games consistently anymore, where before I used to get frustrated if I didn't shoot 28 plus. And it was like, okay, we're changing something if I can't shoot that every single game. Second day, I missed a few. Got nervous. Like that was the first. Like that was kind of a weird feeling.
Don't you got Paige's mental tapes running in your head all the time?
Dude, yeah, but dude,
he's learned to tune it out by now.
Yeah. No, that was one of the first times like I'd gotten like, it was weird. Like normally I get like mental nervous, but like I've never really over the years got like body nerves.
Mm-hmm.
And I had an arrow. It was like third or fourth end. The second day I was still clean. Third arrow, I drew it back. Had plenty of time on the clock, you know, and because we run the shot clock there, so it's just like real, 2 minutes. And I had to let one down on my third arrow. It didn't fire, and I looked up at the clock and it was like 48 seconds, 50 seconds, something like that. I was like, shoot, I got plenty of time, Drew the arrow back again, and it's like, be patient on it, like just pull, make a good shot, and it wouldn't fire. I'm like, oh my God, like what is going on here? Like this thing has got to go. Like I'm either at the point of like I have enough seconds to let down and then rip it back really quick again, or I'm fully committed and it's just, I'm gonna burn it in.
Yeah.
Like, it's not gonna be good. And I looked up at the clock. I like glanced out of my peep sight, looked up, and it was like 22 seconds or something like that left. I let down, took one big quick deep breath, and I went to hook my D loop up, and I missed my freaking D loop with my hook. And I'm like, then it was like I'm fumbling and my hands shaking, and I'm like, my heart's going nuts, and I'm like, oh my God, I'm not gonna get this arrow off. I'm gonna shoot a freaking 0, or like I'm gonna have like 5 seconds left or something stupid like that. You know what I mean? I'm gonna shoot a 7 or something. And I got my release hooked up and ripped it back and just pulled on it as hard as I freaking could, and it fired with like 4 seconds left, and I hit the 10 somehow.
Hell
dude, that next end, I was like, that adrenaline dump was so real. I was so nervous from that arrow, and like I haven't felt nerves like that in forever. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like even the years I've been in the Vegas shoot off or indoor national shoot off or the Lancaster finals or World Cup final stages, things like that. Like I've never had body nerves hit me like that before, and that was the first, and it was a little rough getting through that, and I freaking shot a big fat 9 the first arrow. The next end, I'm like, you idiot.
Shit.
So it was, but I mean, I look at it, I'm like, well, I haven't really competed in 2 years, really.
Right.
So I mean, that didn't really surprise me all that much. I kind of got what I've put into archery over the last few years. Like archery is, I mean, I can pick the bow up, and man, I shot 130X already this year in practice.
Did you?
Weird enough, it was literally the very first game I set my bow up.
Oh, that had to feel freaking cool.
Like, Paige was at a seminar, and
I'm not touching this till Vegas.
Yeah, no kidding.
No
She was in Missouri hunting with one of our friends, and then had a seminar at a shop back there that I didn't go. One of the seminars I didn't travel to with her, and I was like, I'm just gonna throw a bow together real quick tonight here, and just kind of half-ass throw it together. I found some arrows. I'm like, yeah, these super drives will work. Threw it all together, kind of just like put my bow back together. So that was basically the first time I'd shot it since the Safari up in Eugene, and got a quick tune on it, roughed it in on a dirty face. I'm like, that's good enough. Like, let's throw a clean face up and just kind of see how she rolls. And literally the first 30 yards out of the bow, I didn't miss. I'm like, okay, we're going to set this bow aside and not touch it until Vegas. It hasn't been that good since. So
Have you touched it?
Oh yeah, that thing has been 40 times since then, because it was pure shit luck that I shot a 30 on that game. I think the next game I shot was like a 21x 300 or something like that. Maybe it might have even been a 99. Like,
well, at least you know you can do it.
Yeah, I mean, I still got it. It's just
in there somewhere.
If I put the effort into it from the beginning.
Yeah, so. Absolutely. So how did it shake out how do you guys do? So you shoot a 750 round, and then is that just it, or how do you guys X's determine who wins the buckles and stuff, or do you guys do shoot ups, or
we'll do an actual, we'll do like a shoot off. So just like Vegas, we'll have, like, if there's any ties, we'll have them shoot. They get one end of practice, and then this year we did a little bit different. We didn't do Big Tens on the first end. We just went straight to X's. So kind of alleviate one freebie round and then make you go straight to X's as 10. Yep. So there's 2 kids shot, both missed one. And then, so they tied. I ended up missing, I think, shot like a 97 the second day. It was pretty crap. It wasn't very good.
So you're like, I used to shoot 30.
I was definitely struggling. I'm like, yeah, I used to shoot like 750s with 74 X's, 73 X's, like all the time. You know what I mean? Like, but definitely not 18 years old anymore, and don't aim a bow like I used to. So
yeah.
But no, so yeah, they'll do shoot offs, and then the winners will get buckles. So
nice.
Pretty cool.
Yeah, 18 would have been a long time ago for you. You're almost 40 now, aren't you?
Whoa. Come on now. I'm 32. I'm not even mid-30s yet. Come on now.
Yeah. Jesus, you're younger than me?
Oh, yeah.
Damn it.
Come on. Look at the camera here.
All right, both of you take off your freaking hats.
Hey. I got hair right here. That's all we're
there
going.
You go.
I do too.
Yeah. Is that when you comb it forward?
Yeah. That's why I grow a mullet, so I can push it forward.
There you go.
Oh man. Well, this weekend, and so we'll just quickly run into a recap over last couple of weekends of shooting. Wilderness held the first New Year's Day shoot this year.
Oh yeah.
We're planning on making it an annual thing. I really like the Hangover Classic, so we hope you guys can come on down for the Hangover Classic in the future.
Gotta get some cool shirts made for that.
Yeah, that would be fun.
That would be cool.
Yeah. Heather showed up.
You actually have to be hungover, though. I feel like that.
Yeah, you gotta have like the shirt logo needs to be like the 3 different Vegas spots in like the beer goggles with 10 rings like offset, you know. So it's like what you're really experiencing.
Yeah. Heather showed up in a wig and 80s glasses with a knockoff Archery After Hours shirt, which was cool.
She didn't even ask if I was going to be there. I was headed to Lake Almanor, and I get this shit. I'm like, what is she doing? What's going on?
Yeah, I know.
She came to like throw down against me. Real quick. Yeah, I was like, I got to go defend my hair. I'll be back.
Yeah. There's only one person who can pull this wig off, and it ain't you.
I think she's going to try to throw down this weekend.
Yeah, she's going this weekend.
She wants to have a weave off.
Yeah, a weave off. She does look like she's straight up from the 80s when she rocks it. It's pretty funny. But so we held that. We got a great turnout for such a short turnaround on it. So we're really happy and thankful for people who made the trek. Like just Taylor Spoolster drove all the way up. And
shout out to Taylor for making it to the Rushmore Rumble shoot off the other day.
Shout out to him.
Yeah, he's been killing it the last couple of years.
Did you see his boots, man?
Oh, dude, those things, how do you miss them?
God dang, dude, those things have powers beyond our control, man. The second I saw him at the Bay Area Open, I went, we're in trouble, dude, because your confidence has to be through the roof to walk around in those bad boys. And it was. and he came and stomped everybody's ass.
We got to get him
That's
some
awesome.
skull caps for the tips, like from Breaking Bad,
God.
as a killer. But he
I
drove
mean,
all the
dude,
way up.
even his boot tip confidence is through the roof.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. He's untouchable.
Yeah.
he drove. He shot really well at the shoot. We shot it as 2 330 rounds for qualification, and then we went into a bracket based on your scores. The bracket shook out. Taylor was in first, Allen was in second. They both shot back-to-back 300s. Taylor shot a higher X count. And then it was Mark got me by 1x 1 point. And then it was me and then Caleb. I don't know who else was after that. Winning the first round of brackets. We ran it like Lancaster, call the 12, go for it. A lot of fun.
That's cool.
I tried a couple of games. I was actually shooting against one of the Bowtechs at the shop. So
Lewis?
No, Lewis doesn't work at the shop.
I thought I meant just
Joe Ruiz. He's he's been coming up really good on shooting and he's been doing really well for having just getting into shooting and competing and whatnot.
Do you have a dog?
Can you hear it?
Yeah.
I do have a dog.
Somebody's got a dog. Anyway.
Winnie!
Winnie?
Yeah.
The Pooh?
Winston. Yeah, Winnie the Pooh.
Winston. Okay.
It's Winnie.
Yeah. All right.
I call her Winston.
Oh.
It's short for Winnie the Bish.
Oh.
AKA Brown Lightning. Anywho, I tried some games that did not work well.
Go
I
figure.
was after the first end I was up like 2 points, and the second end I was up 5 points or whatever. So I started
down to 12.
Well, I was like
Was it roulette you were trying?
Before I got to
He's shooting at a dartboard.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I was shooting well, but I wanted to figure out how I was going to address like shooting the 12 and so I tried to play some games with the person I was shooting with. I waited till he drew up his last arrow and I kicked out the 12 just to mess with him and I let him shoot, and then I draw up and I'm like, whoa, where did this tsunami come from? I cannot find the middle of the dot. So I learned some things, and then I shot off against Mark, and Caleb shot over perfect. He shot triple X, and then he shot XX12, XX12. And so the quarterfinals was Jesse and Caleb, me and Mark, Taylor and I forgot who, and then Louis and Allen. And
Louis Sheedy making the trip. God bless him.
Yeah, same thing. Taylor, Louis Sheedy, John Post, and these guys coming from a distance.
Yeah.
Louis knocked out Allen. I knocked out Mark, and then which was fantastic. Taylor beat whoever he was shooting against, and then Caleb and Jesse were shooting against each other, and Caleb came out strong after shooting that first arrow. He goes, I'm going to shoot a 12, and he shot a 7.
Nice.
So he had some ground to make up, which he did really well. He crawled his way back to just 1 down from Jesse to move into the semifinals, whereas me and Taylor and Louis and Jesse. Jesse shot really well in the semifinals, and Taylor got me by 1. And so then I shot against Louis for 3rd, and Taylor and Jesse shot for 1st, and Taylor just
does Taylor things.
Does Taylor things, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So that was a cool event. Really looking forward to next year hosting it again. Working with Mark on getting that set up. We'll definitely get it out a little bit earlier and let people know. But then to summarize,
at least you got the date locked down.
Yeah,
that's nice.
In case anyone wants to know what happens January 1st.
Yeah.
So
Got to
this
be
past,
hungover to play.
yeah, gotta be hungover. We
You
will
gotta blow.
have
You gotta blow at
equalizer.
least a 1 point something to play.
The
And if
wall
you
is
there
in
when you
fair
get
game.
there, I'll get the funnel out and the alcohol. We'll pour.
There
We'll
you go.
But to recap, this past weekend was the Central Valley Open, which you guys came to last year and did really well.
Yeah, that was a fun shoot. Where
Yeah.
we did the double event over the weekend, one at Impact, one over at the Spot. So
Yeah.
that was cool.
This weekend was the Spot and the Impact event, which some of my favorite. I love going to the Impact event with Brian. Brian is the owner of Impact Archery. He's just awesome guy. So
Yeah.
love going down there and supporting him and his shop. I didn't make the Spot shoot. I usually set aside one of those to go to, and it's usually Brian's shoot. So the Spot basically turned out Caleb shot 228X games to qualify.
Stud.
And then he was first, and Justin, I don't know his last name, shot really well in the shoot-offs and beat Caleb for first and at the Spot. And then fast forward to the next day, nobody shot a 300 at Impact, and Caleb was seated first, Justin was seated second, I was seated third, Brent Brown was seated fourth, and then Waka for fifth.
Nice.
Randall Kilpack does Randall things and shoots an inside out X for the lucky dog spot, comes in, shoots against Waka. Waka wins, moves up against Brent. Brent wins. Brent, so I move in against Brent, and I'm shooting, and I just wasn't comfortable. My first arrow was a fat 9, and but the way that they did the shoot-offs there was different. So instead of going for score, it was arrow versus arrow. So for example, I go number 2, number 3, number 1 because I'm autistic, and and like, you know, Caleb goes
Beat me
number
to
1. Yeah, I knew it was coming, so I figured I'd get it out of the way. Caleb goes number 1, number 3, number 1, number 3, number 2. So my number 2 target would go against Caleb's number 1 target. And it's just closest to center, and you get 1 point. So the first game ends. Brent's got 3 awesome X's in there, and Oscar goes, "John, you need to shoot 12." And my head goes, "Well, now I'm not going to do it." So I shot an X, and it wasn't good enough to beat Brent, so I was down 3 points after the first one.
Shit.
The next game, I went for the 12 and absolutely covered the whole dot. And then I got 1X and the 12, and the 12 counted for 2 points. So at the end, Brent got me by 1 point, but was a cool, different but cool way to shoot. Brent went against Justin. Justin beat Brent, and then it came down to Caleb and Justin, and Caleb had it before the last. I think he had it. They had 2 arrows left, and Caleb basically had already won. Justin went for the 12, got it, and so the best that he could do was tie Caleb. If Caleb shot it, shot anything, it would just tie it if he just dropped his arrow. And so Caleb shot a 12 and just piped it and won it outright. So that was pretty cool. That was the Central Valley Open. And then
shout out to Justin Rodriguez, man. That kid.
Yeah, coming out of nowhere.
Yeah,
coming
hell
out
of
of
a
nowhere,
weekend
just
for him. Good
smashing
for him.
it. So that was cool. It was a fun event. I like going down, supporting Brian and shooting, trying to get my fingers in as many pies as possible. So I definitely think, Elliot, next year, I think we should go up to Montana.
That would be fun.
I've had that shoot on my list for like
It's
a couple of years
it's,
now.
It's fun. I like it. It's just, I get to go home every year for that. Really fun event.
What date is that usually?
kind of floats.
Is
Just
it before
depending
Christmas?
on, no, it's right out. Like this year we did it right after Christmas, like the
Okay.
weekend after Christmas.
Okay.
So it kind of just depends on the year. And then based on when shows are, like show season, like if their ATA is or Rushmore Rumble, because they kind of like have moved those events
Yeah.
around, and it's Iowa's floated around, and it's kind of like we've always just kind of had to like pick and
Adapt.
choose weekends that weren't going to overlap big events, so that way you could try to draw as many people as possible. Now with there being, you know, an event every single weekend, it makes it harder. So it's
Yeah.
kind of just floats on whatever's the most reasonable weekend, you know. But typically we always try to do it somewhere around like that first part of January, kind of as
Yeah.
like a mid, like kind of like the kickoff to indoor season, you know,
Sure.
when guys are really starting to get serious about it. I mean, like we had it right before the Rushmore Rumble, which is a great like starter for the people that went to Rushmore from there.
Right.
So I mean, it's always been kind of a nice thing to have that little bit of you get a little bit of pressure built up, you know, right before you can get to go test your setups at some of those smaller stuffs, right before the big stuff goes on. But I mean, that Rushmore Rumble this year, what did you guys think of the going to inside out on end number 7?
Ugh.
I had an in-depth conversation with a certain pro shooter that we all know last night about this. And I think it needs to be standardized for what end it goes to. And I think the best end is number 10. Make everyone shoot a 30X because that's going to knock enough people out. And then after that.
Yeah.
I don't, my whole thing, like, I mean, not to like take credit away from Bodie or anybody that has,
Of
like,
course not.
phenomenal. I mean, you like, you got to be good to win it. Like we've become so good now in the male and like the pro division and the guys. It's like, you have to have something to separate. Like, otherwise these things, I mean, the dudes now, the game has changed so much. They could sit there and shoot 30 ends, 40 ends clean on the right day. You know what I mean? I mean,
Yeah.
last year, hell, they did 23 ends at Rushmore last year.
Yep.
But I think, like, from what I saw this year, the best format I've ever seen was at Kings, where they had the little tiny dot in the middle of the X.
Yep.
Where you still had to make a damn good shot to hit the dot,
Yeah.
but you weren't like, it's a fine enough aiming point now, like, and it's a small enough dot to hit. Like, you're gonna have guys that still shoot an X and miss the dot, but I mean, guys that are, if you're shooting a quarter shaft X and you have the dude next to you shooting 3 piped almost inside outs every single end, like the dude who's shooting like that, like, I mean, look at the shoot off in Vegas last year when Perkins literally never missed. I don't think he shot over a half shaft X the whole entire shoot off.
Yeah.
And then when they went into the inside outs, he made it whatever the 3 ends that they shot inside outs, and he still shot better than Bodie and Nicholas Girard did. Like, they shot great, and they won with the game and the rules of the game. But if you're going to go inside out, I think the inside out should be another point value higher. So, like, I don't think you should be able to miss an X or even shoot a 9 and then have it count as a 9, right? Like if you shoot a half shaft X and it counts as a 9, and the next dude shoots a 10 and the next dude shoots a 9, like, all 3 of those shouldn't be even point values.
Like inside out is 11.
Inside out is 11, yeah. So that way, if you do hit an inside out and then you miss 2 big X's and shoot 2 half shaft 10s, and the next dude next to you shoots 3 X's,
that makes sense.
How do you, like, how can the guy that shot 1 inside out and then missed 2 X's be the winner? Like, in my mind, they didn't shoot better. They just got lucky on 1 arrow.
Yeah.
Type of thing.
Very true.
Where if they're gonna keep it as the inside out, I would like to see it as the inside out was like a bonus.
Yeah.
Essentially, right? Like kind of how Lancaster has that 12 ring or something. But or just get rid of the inside outs and let them just bang away and let the best dude win. Like, I think that would be even better. Or something like Kings, where they have that super small internal dot on the X.
Yeah.
That you have to shoot middle, like really, really middle arrows to hit.
Yeah.
So
I think that's the best way, is the King style, because it's still shooting at X. It's not a 12 down in the 7-8.
Yeah, you can't miss the X. You
Yeah.
still have to shoot an X, and you got to shoot a really good X, even with a 27 to hit it. Like, you're better than half shaft.
Yeah. Yeah, it's
So-
just the size of the plus sign. So
Yeah, I mean, it's just going to reward the most accurate, most consistent shooter there is.
Yeah.
And then being able to switch arrows. I mean, yeah, technically, like, we're a freestyle division. But
that was my next question. I was going to ask you what your take was on the ability to swap arrows, mid shoot off. Obviously, there's some risk there.
100%. I mean, you're taking a lot of faith in your setup. That, I mean, most guys aren't switching bows because, I mean, you guys both know probably as well as I do. Like, you have a bow setup for indoor arrows and a bow setup for outdoor arrows.
Yep.
They're two totally different animals. Like, they don't react the same. Little arrows seem like, to me, they don't like I've never been able to just tune or like put a swappable rest like an AE, like Freak Show QD and throw that on there and then be able to run it right into my same tune where I have my cams and everything and how my bow is set up for indoors and have it shoot just as forgiving as my indoor arrows. I'd be better off shooting my big arrows, shooting inside outs than I would throwing a little arrow on there. Just for how my bow is set up and my bow is tuned, for that. And how the bow reacts. I would like to see. I know. I mean, dude, that dude is a freaking killer, and
it happened to him last year at Vegas too.
Yeah, I saw he made a post today. I saw it was like, let's make shoot-offs great again.
Really?
Yeah.
What was his take on it?
There was a bunch of comments. There's a lot of people who don't like it. And a lot of the pros,
the inside out thing
in the shoot-offs, they don't really like it. I mean, for me, like, I wouldn't really be a super big fan of it.
Wait,
if you're gonna switch arrows,
on which part? The inside out part or the swapping arrows part? They don't like
the inside out portion of it. I'm not a fan of that because I think that's. I mean, even if you have a little arrow, I mean, you're taking a little bit of the luck away from it. But to shoot an inside out X under that amount of pressure, like, there is still a slight percentage of luck that is involved. And I don't feel like the division that we're shooting at and like the level of competition that we're at, I don't feel like someone should be winning on luck. No. I think it should be won on skill alone. Like, the best dude in the room that day should be able to walk away from Vegas and confidently be able to say, like, yes, I am the best dude in the building on the planet. I'm the baddest man on the planet this year. Like, that, like, I feel like that's like the credibility that Vegas has always held is like the best person in the world on that given Sunday was walking away and going home with the Vegas title in his pocket.
Yeah.
Where now it's like, I mean, unless someone just really like wants to throw it on the table and just walk out and pump 3 inside out X's and just be like, see ya. You know what I mean? Like, we haven't seen that yet. Nobody's walked out there and shot 3 inside outs.
That is, I just looked it up. That's a big statement that he made, and I personally don't disagree with him. Is it
long, or can you summarize it?
I can say the whole thing.
Do it.
The Rushmore Rumble was fun, but let's make shoot downs great again. Going inside out is not the way. What do you guys think?
I mean, I 100% agree with him. Like, it's, to me, like, for me saying it, like, I was at the level of like to where I could shoot a Vegas 900 in the past, and like I'd felt like I could do it very easily, and it wasn't like a hard thing to do. It was just you had to stay out of your own way, and felt like, the first couple of years that I shot it, like, I felt like I was shooting good enough that weekend that I may have a chance. Like, there's always like an aspect of luck in the shoot down. Like, you got to have a little bit of luck on your side to hit the arrows they don't break just right, or you get a little nervous on one arrow or whatever. Like, you need a little bit of forgiveness in the shoot off scenario to be able to walk away as a winner anyways. But even then, like, I wouldn't have thought like inside out was the way, like back, 4 or 5 years ago. I still don't think it is. And I think someone like Matthias saying that holds a lot more credibility and a lot more weight than just your guys who pay a pro do that aren't like a real professional, that like that's not their day job, right? Like, someone who has a normal 9 to 5 that shoots a bow extremely well, that pays the $75 and gets a couple free bows a year from companies or whatever, or product, or maybe he gets helped out for some travel money or whatever. Like, Jesus, like I wouldn't consider those guys like real true professionals, just because like
Yeah.
that's not what they're doing that's not their 9 to 5 day job, right? Like they're
Yeah.
doing something else
He
to
shot what,
supplement.
89 X's going
I mean,
into
yeah, you
that?
have a guy that shoots 89 X's and he's the one out there saying, yeah, no, like inside out isn't the way. And I bet you if you looked at his targets from qualifying, more than 50% of those arrows were inside out.
Yeah.
Like the dude is a freaking absolute machine when you
Mhm.
watch him shoot. And it doesn't even look real when he's shooting. It looks like it's a still photo.
Yeah.
If it was like where everybody had to swap to skinny arrows, once that happened, I would like it for the
It needs
aspect
to be
of
standardized.
Right.
Something needs to be
I
standardized.
want to say right now, I think Kings is the way. But if this was the way going forward, that nope, we're doing inside outs, and from that point on, everybody, I guess you don't have to, but I mean, like, it's cool to watch people make that change and adjustment, and their shit still pipe. It didn't for
Yeah.
Matthias. It didn't look like, but that is an added element. I think that is kind of cool. I mean, just having repeatable equipment like that, knowing your shit's. I mean, just being able to do that midway in through a shoot off is terrifying. But whoever can pull that off, I think that's cool too. But
Yeah, it makes you have your stuff like perfect from the start.
But you know what? I can't say I'm sure Matthias did. I'm sure he had it freaking. I don't know what it was, but I'm sure he had it tits.
Just
he
think
could.
about the pressure that you're under in that situation, the way that
Yeah.
you interact with your bow and under that kind of, because we've had Matthias on and he's like, I still get nervous, you know, like your way of interacting with that bow in that circumstance is going to change.
Yeah.
And first of all, I want to take absolutely nothing away from Bodie for winning.
No, 100%. No, dude, Bodie's a freaking killer. He's probably one of the most impressive people that I've seen in the last 10 years shooting a bow, where you watch him, and I mean, I don't know if you guys watched the shoot off, like his target wasn't that great in the shoot off until it mattered.
Yeah.
And like you'll watch him shoot and it's like the first couple ends, he's like half shaft X here, half shaft X there. It's like the longer the shoot off gets, where like other guys are like piping him dead center from the beginning. He gets on a roll and his arrows get tighter and tighter and tighter and tighter. And it's like the more the pressure builds, the more middle that kid shoot.
That's the thing that I remember from Vegas this year was obviously Perkins made a big point of commenting like on the Cam podcast about, you know, I didn't miss an X or anything. And Bodie's comments like, I didn't either, you know, like I still didn't miss an X. And, you know, that's the name of the game now. I've just scrolled through once again. Like I said, I'm not
before you leave that thought though, did you guys watch Bodie look after some of those arrows, look over and go, make those
like
faces?
He knew.
Did you see that shit?
Yep, that was
Who do you think he was looking at?
Probably his dad.
Probably
I would imagine his dad, or like Greg, or someone was like sitting right there behind him,
or Kaylee,
or someone. Yeah, someone there was like sitting right there. And
that's what I was wondering. I was like, I've been waiting my whole life for him to get a girlfriend and go, dude, archery? Well, who gives a shit about archery? And then we'd never see him again. And he'd just come back and do, you know, seminars or something like that. But no, he's having a chick over there watching him for the, you know, in front of the whole world, and he's using it as a superpower to his advantage, and it's not how I thought it was going to go. I mean, good for him. That's awesome. That had to feel freaking great. But I saw that and I was all, he's smiling at a girl and he's going to have all the confidence in the world now.
Oh, dude, he's killing it right now. Like there is like, there's
no one better.
No,
I mean, there's a few people that like, if I were to say like, you can take and bet on any individual to win a shoot off over like a Vegas shoot off or an indoor nationals or a Rushmore Rumble, something like that. Like you take the inside out of it, take the inside out game away, and it just goes back to straight raw shooting ability, never missing an X. Like I would have a hard time picking between probably 3 or 4 people.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, you got Mikey is always going to be a name that's up there because Mikey is, I'm going to just say it, Mikey's the GOAT. Like, there's like, he has won on all facets of archery, been probably the most consistent archery's ever seen over his career.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, whether it's indoor, outdoor, field, like the dude's a freaking machine. Like, absolutely incredible. Bodie's another one that I would say, Matthias is, Matthias is a freaking hammer as well.
Those would
Like,
be
it's
my two right
nuts to
there.
watch those three shoot. Kyle's up there. Perkins is up there. Like,
Didn't Kyle
there's
shoot at
probably
89 too or something? 80 something?
something like that. Yeah. There's 4 or 5 guys that it would be like, if it wasn't for the inside out game,
Yeah.
it would be like, okay, there's like it's a crapshoot between,
Yeah.
and you could shoot 5 events in a row and you could have 5 different winners.
Yeah.
Between those 5 dudes. Very easily.
I saw a cool stat earlier or late last year about Mikey shooting from 2025 in World Archery events. And he had, I think, 15 150s. And second place was Matthias with 3 or 4.
Yeah. I mean, dude, Mikey it is absolutely insane to stand there and shoot next to Mike. Like, in a tournament aspect, and it is, but like, you get Mike in like a practice session and they're like out of the nerve. There's nothing. It's just like Mikey's just doing whatever Mikey does upstairs, just pounding arrows. And I've never seen someone shoot the way Mikey shoots a bow and arrow. Like, it is absolutely stupid.
I quickly want to revert back because what I was saying was I'm obviously not at all trying to take anything away from Bodie because, as much as an older person can look up to a younger person, like the ability and the things that he's accomplished so far is, vastly beyond what most of us would ever conceive of being able to achieve in a lifetime. So I'm not trying to take anything away from him, but pretty much anyone who's on the pro circuit has commented on this post.
Yeah.
And there's only one comment that doesn't agree with the post. Everyone's saying I'm not here to create drama.
What's public knowledge, it seems.
It is. It's Joel Turner.
Oh. All right, never mind. Better not.
And you have people like Chance Bobeth, Sarah Preels, Perkins, our boy Rocket, Paige, Casey Caulfield, Kyle Douglas, just to name off the top 4. Lonnie, Jacob Marlowe. I haven't seen anyone that agrees with the fact of going to inside outs is the way to go. I think my personal opinion is it needs to be standardized. And what I mean by that is it has to be across all the events. And so Vegas, Rushmore, etc. And it needs to be the same. So that means we either all start shooting skinnies because so the second component that I didn't add to that is the changing of arrows thing needs to be addressed, because there's a lot of people that I've talked with and that we've even had on the podcast and stuff that are not of the thought that what you or not of the they are in the realm of what you start with should be what you finish with. And
either that or like if you want to say like, okay, you're starting to shoot off whatever arrow you start to shoot off with, you finish the shoot off with. You have the ability now to switch from your normal shooting round, your qualification round, then to go into the shoot off. If you want to roll skinnies, roll skinnies.
Yeah.
If you want to roll fatties, roll fatties.
It just needs to be
another thing I thought about
standardized.
too, like one way you could change it a little bit and like make it more standard is let them shoot the first, say, 5 ends, get rid of the first end is scored 10. So they get 1 practice end out there to readjust their sights with the lighting and everything like that. And then roll straight to X's. And then have 5 ends of the X's scored 10. And then you could go to end 6 through 10 for the next 5 ends. You had to shoot inside out 10 ring. Like the X only counted if you were fully inside out in the 10 ring. Because like that takes a really good, you still have to make a really dang good shot to shoot a fully inside out X on a 10 ring.
Yeah.
And then you could go from the next however long it took after 30 arrows had been shot, then you could go to an inside out. Because like we talked about it was me, Braden, and Steve at Indoor Nationals a couple years ago talking about it, and someone was mentioning something about like, oh my God, like the Rushmore Rumble took like so many ends, and Vegas is starting to take so many ends. It's getting boring to watch. Like,
Yeah.
And it's like, I think Steve said, he's like, man, I'm glad I'm not out there doing that anymore like that, because even when I was at my best, like I wasn't going 20 ends in a shoot off.
Yeah.
And like me and Braden, we all kind of
It's
laughed.
crazy
Like,
now.
yeah, no, dude, I wasn't going. I mean, I felt like at my best, you could say probably pretty comfortably, if you shot 5 to 6 ends, maybe 7, you were going to win Vegas.
Yeah.
If you could shoot 5 to 7 ends of X's, you were going to win. Where now it's like, dude, they're just getting warmed up at 10.
Yeah.
Like they could go 20, 25, 30. Like it's a totally different game that archery's been taken to in the last 3 years, really 4 years.
Yep.
That it's absolutely wild. I mean, I remember I think the first year we watched one go any length of time was that first year that Kyle won. I think he won it in like 7 or 8 ends, against Richard Bowen. And then he won the following year. It was like 11 ends. Him and Richard shot again for first and second. And then that next year was the first year back at South Point. And I think that's when Bodie won. And then the next year, Chris won. And then Matthias won.
Yep.
And like the shoot off, it got longer and longer and longer and longer and longer as we've gotten going on.
Bigger. And the 900 group got bigger and bigger and bigger.
Yeah. I mean, you used to look at the days, and you could be like, okay, whatever the first day, say there was 100 people who shot clean the first day. You could be like, okay, there's probably going to be about 20 dudes that shoot a 900, because you could roughly cut that number in half each day. And that's basically what would happen. Now, whoever is like 90, like probably 85 to 90% of the dudes who shot a 600 are going to shoot a 900. And you're going to have 25, 30, 35 guys in the shoot off almost every single year now. Where before you could have 10 guys in the shoot off, 12. I think the first year I made it, we had like 18, and that was the biggest number they've ever had.
Yeah.
And then the second year I made the shoot off was like 26 or something like that, and that was the biggest we've ever had as well. It's like, god dang.
I thought you were in the shoot off. I thought you were in the shoot off where Pogney won from the Lucky Dog spot.
No,
you
that
weren't.
Year,
okay.
That year was the best year to make a Vegas shoot off in the last 20 years. There was 5 dudes who shot a 900 plus Sergio, and it was one on the very first end of X's.
Yeah.
Like, if anybody had the best chance of winning, that was the year to win, because there was the least amount of dudes to compete with.
I could have sworn I saw you, but it must have been another short guy balding with a Hoyt jersey.
No, I had full hair back then.
Oh man. Yeah, I don't know. The overwhelming analysis from what I'm seeing here is that the overwhelming analysis from what I'm seeing here is the JVD target is the best option.
That was the coolest option I've seen.
I think it's really cool.
Ever. Yeah. I mean, because it still forces you to make a perfect shot, but it takes like the luck factor out of it, because it's skill at that point.
Yeah.
And we're winning based off of skill, not based off of luck.
Yeah, I agree. And I look forward to the opportunity to have the targets here and use them here. So, which is something I've already worked on. So I'm looking forward to maybe next season we are having tournaments that have the JVD style target.
John's going to be out there before the Hangover Classic putting black dots on them, and you're going to have some dots in the middle, some dots touching the 10 line.
Yeah, absolutely. We were trying to implement it for the Hawkins shoot, and Doug's like, whatever, I'll just put stickers on it.
Yeah.
And then we changed it, but yeah, so I know Elliot wants to.
Yeah, I was going to say, before we run too long or have to wrap up or whatever, I'm in a pickle. I'm getting ready to cut outdoor arrows down. I've never paid any attention to arrow length. I've always just been like,
I know. I was looking at your hunting arrows last year when we were in Utah. And it was like, dude, you got a foot of arrow sticking out in front of your arrow.
That's 2 inches, man. But let's call 2 inches a foot, man. I'm game.
Yeah.
No, you sound, when we talked back there, like pretty damn savvy on arrow builds and shit, how you determine that kind of thing. And like I said, I've always just been like, those arrows shot good, I'm going to cut them to that length and hope this new brand or arrow shoots just the same. Not scientific at all, but like, what's your Maybe it is that easy, and I'm totally getting this all wrong. But how do you go about like choosing arrow length in particular? If you've narrowed down a spine, let's say, this is purely for my own needs.
I mean, it's like when I run my indoor setups, like I've always ran a long 27.
Right.
Typically run around a 30-inch arrow with a 225 to 250 grain point. I've tried short arrows indoors before. I've tried making them really stiff. I've tried all these different things.
I'll be
Played with
right back.
the node, like putting the node on the launcher blade, all these different things, and it's never worked how I wanted it to or how I expected it to.
Hmm.
I felt like for one, like indoor arrows for me, if I make them a little bit longer, a little bit weaker, they seem to be a lot more forgiving under pressure situations.
Hmm.
Because I know, like me and Paige were playing around with different indoor stuff this year when I'm in the range here shooting, and it's like I've shot some of my really, really good games with short carbons, basically cut to the rest with 150 to 175 grain point.
That's kind of where
But
I'm at now.
the minute we start trying, like, and we start, like, because every time we shoot, it's a competition. Like, we play every single arrow in the
Right.
range is basically closest to center. So that way we're getting some aspect of like a little bit,
Pressure.
like trying a little bit harder, trying to make some sort of like nervous feeling, make you try harder, things like
Yeah.
that. Kind of what you would feel in it, like try to replicate a tournament scenario as best as possible. The minute we start doing that, and I'm shooting the shorter, stiffer arrows, my shots I get like weird erratic impacts. Like they don't shoot
Really?
as well. I get random misses, and they'll be like dead center, the middlest you've ever seen, the best looking target ever, and then I'll have like a weird random flyer where I don't get that with the longer aluminums. So
Yep.
indoor arrows, I've always ran a little bit longer, a little bit heavier point weight. And for whatever reason, that just works for me. Like you look at someone like Bodie who runs, or Kyle, they run a super short arrow with 150 grain point, and they freaking pound at the highest level of pressure. So
Yeah.
it's completely personal on like how your shots are, things like that. Outdoor setups,
Okay.
I like to run. I don't like a lot of arrow sticking past the rest typically. For one, that's more arrow that you have to try to steer with the vane,
Yeah.
right? And you're shooting longer distances. It's not 20 yards where you can shoot a big, long, heavy Lincoln log style arrow with a ton of vane on the back end to slow it down and correct the steering as fast as possible. Where outdoors, you got wind, you got different distances and things like that. So you have all these different outside elements you have to deal with. So for me, same thing on my hunting stuff. I like to run the arrow as short as physically possible.
Right.
So that way there's less arrow that my veins have to control.
Okay.
Is kind of how I've always ran it. And then I've played around with point weight too. I kind of typically get my arrow length set somewhere around, I mean, I shoot like 28 3/4 to 29 inches of draw length, depending on the bow outdoors. And then same thing for my hunting bow, somewhere in that 28 3/4 to 29 inch draw length is what I run my hunting bows and target bows in. My outdoor arrows, I'll typically run somewhere around 26 inches. So there's just a little bit of room on the blade. So that way I have room for torque tuning,
Yeah.
or playing around with draw length, things like that. That way I'm never going to get myself into a bind and be like, oh shit, now my stuff's too short. I
Right.
got to completely rechange and restart arrows. But hunting, for one, like I'm way more critical on my hunting stuff than I am that, because I want the shortest arrow possible that I can get away with when I'm hunting.
Mm-hmm.
So that way, when my arrow impacts the animal, I have less ability to flex the arrow. So if you have, say, like two different arrows, both 300 spine, and they're both tuned and they're both shooting phenomenal out of your bow, and you got one set at 29 inches and you have 3 inches of overlap hanging off the end of the arrow rest, and you have one cut at 26 inches that's just barely hanging over the rest at full draw. When your arrow hits the animal, now you have 3 more inches of give in that arrow, where that arrow is going to flex more, right?
Yeah.
I remember I think it was Randy Ulmer way back in the day. I remember reading in a magazine article, he actually runs whatever his spine of arrow that he should be shooting based off of like a spine chart. He'll run like one spine weaker, but then cut his arrows even shorter,
Gotcha.
right? To kind of cut them 2-3 inches shorter to make up for
Yeah.
that spine difference. That's what I've always done too. Like, so if I run a 300 spine arrow out of my hunting bows, I'll be running like a 27 and a half inch arrow. And then if I run like what I normally run, I'll run a 340 spine arrow, basically cut to the rest.
Yeah.
So that way I have the shortest possible arrow. That's less arrow that my vanes have to try to correct and steer when the arrow comes out of the bow, when it's flexing and oscillating, getting pushed from the string, as well as when it hits the animal, there's going to be less flex on that arrow shaft, and you're going to get better penetration as well too. So that's kind of how I've always
Gotcha.
built my hunting arrows off of it. Target arrows, I don't care about penetration, right?
Yeah.
But it's more so like I'll get my arrow kind of cut to, I run a 420. I've always ran a 420 somewhere around 26 and a half inches, kind of seems like where mine always end up being. And then I'll play somewhere between 110 to 130 grain point and just kind of see what the bow wants,
Okay.
So,
All right. So that's kind of a little bit more towards what I was thinking. I didn't know if you were like just starting long, nipping a half inch off here and there and shooting and tuning, fucking around, blah, blah, blah. But it sounds like you have a good rough starting point.
I
And
mean, when I
just,
started the process years ago, right? Like when I was shooting, like it's like when you're shooting X10s, you don't want to have to try to. I mean, those things are expensive. You're not going to be
yeah,
hacking away. And like when I first started, like I was buying them, and it's like, man, I don't really want to buy 4 dozen of these things to try to figure out the right length. So I
yeah,
did start them longer back then, and then slowly, progressively, cut them a little bit shorter, cut them a little bit shorter, cut them a little bit shorter, and walked them in until I found what really worked the best. And then it's kind of always been the same for me over the years with that arrow. I've pretty much shot a Pro Tour or an X10 somewhere around that 26 and a half inch length with 120-ish grain point. And that's kind of seemed like it's worked off of every single bow I've ever shot
gotcha.
outdoors. Hunting, you can play with point weight a little bit. So depending on the spine, whether
Yeah.
I'm running like a 4 mil or a 5 mil, that'll kind of dictate what point weight I run versus how long I cut them. I'll typically cut my 4 mil, like my 4 mils a little bit shorter just because they're small, even though they're the same spine, they're a smaller diameter. So they don't have the hoop strength in the arrow. So even though they're the same spine, they react a little bit weaker. You could take
Mhm.
a 4 mil, a 5 mil, and a 6 mil, cut them all at the same length, 340, and they're all going to react a little bit different spine wise just because of the overall diameter and the hoop strength of the carbon.
Interesting.
So for someone like myself with the long draw, I have these 3.2s.
Mhm.
When I was shooting gold tip, I ran them pretty close to the blade, within, I'd say, half inch on the short side.
Yep.
But that's all carbon. And then this past year, I shot the Super Drive Micros, and I ran them long because I shot the 325 spine, and they just grouped night and day better than I've ever seen,
Yep.
arrows group. Part of that, my thinking was to elongate the arrow to weaken that 325 spine because I didn't need it. Being that it's such a heavier arrow, is it something that I should consider shortening up the 340's a 10 GPI shaft?
I mean, not necessarily. I mean, you got a high enough peep sight height and you got the draw length for speed. Like you're still going to get the distance and everything you need for tournament wise out of that. For me personally, like I'd probably run them somewhere, like within an inch of the blade with like 120 grain point to start.
Yeah.
And then two, it kind of just boils down to what your bow likes, right? Like some of these bows now like a weaker arrow, some bows like a stiffer arrow. It seems like all these newer bows are starting to like something completely different than what they have in the past. Like for years, when I shot spiral cams on a Hoyt, I ran a 420. Like I ran like guaranteed I would run a 420, 26 inches with 120 grain point. And it didn't matter if I shot a Pro Comp, a Prevail, Podium. What was that other one they had?
Invicta,
the Stratus. Like it didn't matter what I ran, right? Like I ran the exact same arrow. It always tuned. When I started shooting by Bowtechs, I ran the Bowtechs and it was like, it wanted a 450. It wanted a little bit weaker spine arrow for whatever reason. And then I switched and I'm shooting a 36 outdoors now, and it still likes a little bit weaker arrow, right? Where it's like, for whatever reason, these bows like a little bit weaker arrow. Where I've heard from other guys shooting Matthews that some guys say they like a really, really stiff arrow. And it's all based on your shot too. Like depending on how hard you're pulling into the bow, Depends on what kind of like how consistent your shot is. I think if your shot is very, very consistent, you can't go wrong with a super stiff arrow, right? Like
Right.
the stiffer you make the arrow to a point, I think you can get away with some better things. Like I've always found a little bit stiffer arrow for me groups a little bit better at distance. Where like I've always ran my arrows a fuzz on the stiff side for outdoors just because I felt like I got a little bit better grouping the further out I got. Where I ran a weaker arrow and they grouped really, really, really good up close to about the mid range. And then my group started to open up slightly the further I got.
Are you
Um,
are you saying weaker and stiffer in those regards by a whole number or by just the length of the shaft on the
It could
same?
be the length of the shaft. It could be point weight too. Like I
Yeah.
found some like one year I had a bow that just absolutely loved 140 grain points. And it was that one particular bow.
Uh-huh.
And then I had another bow set up identical to it. Like you could literally take the rest off of the bow, like because I had the QD on it.
Mm-hmm.
I could take one blade off of it and put it on. I had a yellow bow and a gray bow that summer. I could take the rest in the sight from my yellow bow and put it on my gray bow, stand there at 50 meters and shoot the same exact arrows off of my yellow bow into the gray bow, and I would still shoot every arrow into the 10 ring, but it would use all of the 10 ring.
Mm-hmm.
And then I grabbed a little bit stiffer arrow that I had cut a little bit shorter with a 120 grain point instead of 140 grain point, and they would like never miss the X. But yet the yellow bow did the exact same thing with the little bit longer, heavier point, weaker arrow. So it's every bow is going to be different. So it's like I could have made both of those bows work with either arrow, but it was just so happened to be that I had two different arrows set up already that I was playing with, and one bow liked it and one bow didn't. One bow liked it, so I just kind of let them be their own bow
Sure,
and
sure.
bow arrow combo. But that being said, like there's typically like I'll always be able to get the similar setup to run off of every single bow. I have never shot a bow that's like I cannot get this arrow to shoot off of it. I need to make it's wanting something way stiffer or way weaker. Like I've never seen like a dramatic change, but I've seen like maybe one number, like where Easton you have like your 420s and your 470s where they're kind of like a half number, like a half spine bump on the X10s where you're not going from like a full 300 to a 200 or a 100 type thing. Like you have the half spine difference in between them that you should be able to roughly stay within, you know.
Gotcha. All right. Well, maybe I'll just start messing with point weight a little bit more. I don't know. I got a couple outdoor arrows I got to build because this is a great segue. Nailed that freaking segue. The Yuba Sutter Bow Hunters shoot is coming up. Is anybody even thinking about that?
Yep.
Are you?
Is that outdoors orange dots?
Yes, sir.
Outdoor
Safari,
stuff.
baby. February 15th, we will have that Sunday.
Oh, wow.
42 targets, marked yardage. And if you guys are feeling froggy, the day before, Saturday the 14th, we always have our Jesse Ort Memorial unmarked 14 target shoot. That's always a real good time. Hell of a lot more chill. There's like 60-ish people that come out there.
Are you talking unmarked as in no dots on the target or unknown distances?
Orange dots, unknown distances, no backdrops. Shooting through, crotches of trees and you name it. Shooting through snack shacks and stuff. That's Saturday.
So that sounds like I would show up with 12 arrows and leave with 0 arrows.
No, you'd be fine. I know. The pond always grabs a couple, but for the most part, you'll be able to figure it out. That's a really good time. But yeah, that's coming up February 15th. The marked yardage 42 shoot. So as soon as this shit goes over on Sunday at the Todd Hawkins shoot, I'm gonna yank that rest off and start building some outdoor arrows. So that's why I was picking your brain on that. But
yeah, no, it's kind of where I always start. I would say all my arrows probably run about a half inch to an inch from the blade.
Okay.
On the back, from where the back of the point is, somewhere about that point is kind of, and it's I don't know. I look at it and I'm like, I see these people shooting outdoor arrows that have, 6-8 inches in front of their arrow rest, and it's like, God, that's just all that extra arrow that you have to try to control
surface
with the
area and
vane.
everything else.
I don't want to have to. I want to take as many variables out of it as possible. I don't want to try to add a whole nother 6 inches of arrow that I have to now correct
Right.
into it. So that's why I've always kind of trended a little bit on the shorter side of arrows.
I too. Me too. Other than
Except
those
for your
one
hunting
arrows you
arrows.
saw. Yeah. Yeah. I'll nip them down.
It looked like you were planning on hitting a few hard surfaces and needing to cut them down.
Hey, not a bad move though.
You got your initial setup and your backup setup ready to
Yeah.
go all in one.
Shit, last year I was walking around. I had full length carbon indoor arrows and went down to the Bay Area Open, and I was just they were shooting great, but walking down to the target to score and everything, I kept jabbing Brunetta with my arrows and stuff. And I shot, I think did I win last year? Do you remember? I think so. Yeah. That was
Yeah.
the year. And I came back
Got
and
him
was
being
like,
all modest.
I don't remember because there's a couple years where I did
He's
not.
like, there's been so many events that I've won.
No,
It's like,
no,
it just all
there was
blurs
two.
together.
But I came home and I lopped 3 inches off of them right afterwards, and they still shot fine, but
Yeah.
they were a lot less cumbersome for the guy next to me.
I feel like indoors, you have a lot more freedom and flexibility indoors.
They have one
I mean,
job.
It's 20 yards. It's a giant arrow.
Yeah.
Realistically, there's like maybe 2 people in the industry that can actually like make one of the indoor arrows spine to themselves, maybe 3. Like
Yeah.
you got like Steve Gaius and Tim.
Yeah.
And those are really like the only people that a 200 spine arrow is going to actually spine for them at 60 pounds, right?
Yeah.
Where everybody else is shooting would realistically
Way
need like
over.
a 400 spine to a
Yeah.
340 spine indoor arrow, you know. If you wanted to really get technical and like spine them out, like every single 27 is somewhere between a 250 and a 200 spine arrow.
Oh, really?
So like they're not going to spine for me. They're not going to spine for you. John's not going to get him to spine, even though he's got monkey arms. Like he'd have to shoot 70 pounds with like a 250 grain point in it to try
That's a
to
good
get him
idea.
to actually like spine per the spine
imagine?
chart. You know what I mean? Like if you were actually going to like spine chart them out. I mean, shit, you got some of these, like I've seen some kids out there and girls that are shooting a gold tip triple X that are a 150 spine because they're the stiffest.
Yep.
Cut to the rest with a 150 grain point, and it's
Yep.
like,
That's what I used.
if you wanted to like really look at it, be like, well, that doesn't spine for you. Like, well,
For anybody.
It's just a number, and it doesn't spine for anybody. It's just that's why they work at
Stiff as
20
it
yards
gets.
though.
Yeah.
Where if you tried to shoot those arrows out to say 60, 70 yards and try to group them and everything like that, like you're not going to have near the success with them than you are at 20 yards.
Yeah.
So you get away with so much more indoors. Like, I think I've ran probably 4 or 5 different arrow combinations over the years that have all worked really well. Anywhere from 32.5 down to 28 inches on a 27-12 with anywhere from a 225 grain point to a 300 grain point. So it's like they've all worked.
You could just make it work because it's got
Yeah.
that one job.
Yep. So we're outdoors, you get a lot more finicky.
Has
I
a lot
play around
bigger-
a whole lot more.
A lot bigger range to cover.
Yeah. And then to get an arrow to hit consistently over shot after shot after shot at, 70, 80, 90, 100 yards, like you got to have a little bit of help from the arrow. They got to be married to like your bow. They got to be built properly for your bow to be able to perform the best.
And then even if they are, I got to do that part.
Then you got the human element that involves too.
Yeah.
So that's where I would say outdoors, it always seems like you hear people like, oh my God, outdoors are just so much easier for me to get to tune. Like they are. A smaller arrow is going to be, it's less surface area.
Sure.
You actually have a correct spined arrow for your
Yeah.
bow and spec length. So like in theory, like they should be easier to get set up and shoot.
Right.
But I mean, man, once you get a big arrow shooting at 20 yards, like there's something to be said about big arrows when they're pounding at 20 yards, like how good those stupid things actually shoot.
Yeah.
Like I've shot some stupid games with a 27 indoors that I probably could not replicate with a pro tour.
I had some indoor arrows rolling really, really good a couple years ago, and I shot the Wilderness Archery's 3D shoot at the Sportsman's Expo with them, shooting
Mhm.
4-fletch triple X's at like 50 or 60 yards or whatever it was, and those freaking things pounded out there too. It was badass, man.
Is that off your fall away with your football?
It was. They worked great.
You're in your your little plastic clip on.
I will say, AAE. Now that I've made the switch to AAE, their little football thing that goes in the cable.
That thing is pretty badass.
That is, dude. That's thinking. That's a badass little unit. I had no problem throwing that thing in there. They were doing their homework on that thing. Everything about that rest is super nice.
Yeah, no, that's
bigger.
it's cool to be able to take your rest on and off. So
yeah, I can't wait to see that new that Pro X or something like that. That Heather's got one. It's a blade target drop deal, whatever. I don't know.
I have one on my bow right now.
Do you?
Mhm.
You like it?
I love it, actually.
Really?
It's pretty sweet.
You still cock it with your thumb?
Yeah, I just lift it up.
Oh, okay. Lift it by the blade, or does it have a thumb paddle?
No, I just grab like the base and flip it up.
Gotcha.
Like on your Prophecy where the blade base, like the launcher base is, I just kind of flip it up right there with that thing.
Gotcha. Yeah, I'm gonna get me one of those. Anyway.
Awesome. Well,
holy shit.
Yeah.
Dude, how did that go to?
Man, it goes by fast. Tate, as always, we
didn't
appreciate
even get
you
into the
coming
hunting
on.
stuff either.
Dude, we didn't. We didn't even touch on fucking hunting.
We just listened to John Blab the whole time.
Yeah, I did the most of the talking, that's for sure.
Poor Elliot's sitting there. He's like, man, I had this and this and this and this and this. Elliot had like 13 topics he didn't even get to ask.
Oh, no, I didn't.
You're forgetting the rules here on who knows what. Elliot doesn't have any topics he wants to talk about. That's John's job.
Nope. I'm going to just roll off the cuff, man.
Anyways, we appreciate you coming on. And
yeah,
we're
no
definitely going to have you come back and talk hunting and definitely more of this arrow stuff, especially coming up towards outdoor season, because I've used you before for your information. And I know there's not too many people that I would look towards for arrow stuff more than, you, maybe Steve Anderson, for just figuring out what you need to make it work. So
yeah, I got some, we'll have to wait till you guys get your actual studio set up.
Yeah,
and then we can and then we can all, like, I can bring some props.
Absolutely.
That way we can actually like set them up around and like we can go through like a full arrow build.
Absolutely,
cool.
Absolutely.
I can show you how far down the rabbit hole my psycho ass goes when I'm building my arrows.
We may or may not have a studio situation being thought up, but once again, we appreciate you coming on. Thanks for sharing all the cool stuff with the new bows, indoor season and outdoor season. Last thing before you go, what is the number one thing that you recommend a shooter to purchase if they are new coming into purchase or look into if they are coming into target archery?
Coming into target archery, I mean, obviously, like a good quality bow, like a good target bow would be one. Probably like the biggest thing I see is like guys they'll try to they'll start their target bow up and everything, and then they'll just run right into it with whatever release they were using from like a hunting. Like I've seen a ton of guys like jump in there, like they kind of throw together a target bow so they can shoot with their buddies indoor leagues or whatever. They don't want to shoot the 70 pounds, and they just continue to shoot like their same old like caliper wrist rocket index finger release. Like a good quality release, like obviously like a good sight. I mean, there's just so many things. Probably like the best number one thing that they could buy is, I would say, like a good sight or a good rest. Like that's probably like what I would say is like your two, obviously besides the bow, like get an actual like target bow, get a good high quality name brand target bow, like one of the bigger name brand ones where they're like built really, really good. They got tons of tuning, tons of draw length adjustments, things like that, to where you're not going to limit yourself, right? With something. Get an actual target bow. If you want to like shoot target, like don't try to like cobble something together with an old hunting bow you had laying around. But yeah, probably like a good rest or a good sight would be like, I mean, a rest is like the number one thing I will tell everybody. Like if you're going to build a brand new bow out, whether it's a target bow, hunting bow, and like you're kind of at your budget, like I would probably get cheaper accessories on like buy a little bit cheaper stabilizers, or buy maybe a little bit cheaper sight. Like still don't buy a really cheap sight, because like Target, you need a really, like, you still need a good sight, so that way it stays, like, the clicks stay on,
Repeatable.
everything stays consistent, it's
Yeah.
repeatable. But the rest is like one of the biggest things. Like if you're gonna skimp on something, do not skimp on the rest, because the rest is like the one very, very important piece of the bow that is going to deliver your arrows downrange every single
Yeah.
time, and it needs to function the exact same way every single time. You need to have 100% repeatability on your rest. Otherwise, you're going to get some weird stuff. Like don't be throwing some whisker biscuit on there, or like some cheap
I
ass
thought you were going to
follow.
say football clamp.
Like, yeah, don't put a football clamp on there either.
Yeah, it doesn't
No.
work.
No, I'd put, I mean, and any kind of rest that's like repeatable, like any kind of good fall away, any sort of good blade rest, like anything like that is, I would say, like probably like a key item that you would need to have.
Perfect. Well, thanks for coming on. This is Archery After Hours. We look forward to having you back, Tate. And I'm
Yeah.
going to go ahead and stop this.
Oh, don't do it
and-
for 5 seconds.